Hello, good afternoon. Good afternoon, Vijaya Shanti.
Yeah, hi Soljanya, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Hope you are able to uh,
Oh, now I
turn
can,
on your
yes,
video and audio, right?
yeah, yeah.
Yes. I think we have 14 participants as of now. Would like to have, I mean, shall we wait for some more time or would you like to begin?
Um, might be 1 or 2 minutes. Let's wait.
Sure, sure.
Yeah.
Then we'll start.
Meanwhile, let me try to present my screen.
Sure, so that we can check before we
Yeah,
start.
yeah. So, share screen. Mm, can you see this?
Yeah, we can.
Okay. Great.
Hope even audience can also see. And Nishay, if possible, can you allow participants to raise their, I mean, if possibly, if they can chat or if they can raise the queries in the middle, can we allow? Okay, that's fine. We'll begin with the session. We'll see participants will keep joining. So,
Yeah, we can get started.
done. So, a very warm welcome to everyone joining us virtually today. Thank you for logging in. We are ready for this crucial conversation on empowering women with the skill and confidence needed to lead the digital economy, supported by KDEM. It's my immense pleasure to introduce today's speaker, uh, featured speaker, Ms. Vijaya Shanti. Shanti has a renowned, she's been a renowned leader in skill development and mentorship, and she's here to share her insights on bridging the digital divide and building the confidence essential for success. So here we have Miss Shanti. We are excited to hear from you. The floor is yours.
Yeah, thanks, Aujanya, and thanks to BAGGGEL for the opportunity. And when we really look at what KDM is trying to do, it's wonderful. So, not taking too much time further. So, to start with, I'm Vijay Shanti. A human being who really believes there is a lot that we can do to the society with whatever potential we have within us. And that's where I believe that we are all born with certain talent, each one of us. So how do we nurture and how do we become better version of ourselves is what today I plan to cover. To begin with, I'll share my screen. So here you go. So, what is it that today we are going to talk about? The flow state secrets, and how do we basically get into that zone of continuous learning with grit? So, to begin with, um, I would like to stay here for a second and want all of you to have a look at this and see which of these resonates. I mean, uh, this the first picture that most of us really to do is the shopping part, where we are trying different clothes and different things, so that we are trying to do. um, Saujanya, is there a possibility for others to unmute and say something?
I think we don't have that option as of now. I'll just check with the team if they can enable that.
Yeah, otherwise you can pick one thing out of here, because you are able to speak. So which of these is something that you like to do here? Shopping or cooking or gardening, anything that resonates.
I, I shopping is one of the major part which
Yeah.
I go out, uh, take time for myself.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah,
I
thanks
think
for that. So
if you
yeah,
could
please.
move the slides ahead, it goes. I mean, you are still in the first slide, right?
No, I'm already in the hobby slide. Which hobby
No,
slide?
no. Your screen is still in the first
Okay,
slide.
let
Yeah.
me share it. Okay. Is it now visible?
Yeah, now it's visible, Shanti.
Yeah. Okay. So great. So I think here this is the image that I wanted to show to all of you, that most of us would pick one or the other hobbies that we like to do. It could be shopping, like Saujanya mentioned. At least I know few who have joined on the call either like to be trying something new in the kitchen, or want to spend some time gardening, or with music, or it could be any sport. So have you ever realized that when you are doing something which you really like, you don't have control of time, and you just be in that moment, and unless you feel that punch on your body that okay, I'm feeling now physically exhausted, you will continue to do that. So what I want to today talk about is, why is it that few things that we really don't feel tired doing it, but there are certain things when we try to do it, we feel exhausted, might be after a very short attempt. So today's session is going to cover about why these differences that we often encounter in our day-to-day life, and how can we basically be aware of if there is a shift needed, how can we do that? So that's what I'm going to cover today. So the session will cover more about flow. So when we took the example of for throughout the session, I will keep taking the example of shopping versus other activities that we take into reference. So when we do, or when we get into that shopping zone, what is it that our thought process is? So we are basically, happy state of mind that we are about to pick something that would make us look beautiful, or that would give us a sense of better appearance to ourselves and also to the world outside. So that state at which you're basically enjoying and performing certain things where you're yourself not aware, that state is basically called flow, wherein you're deeply engaged to the activity that we are doing. So the best example, at least when I was growing up, the best part that I've seen is my mother often being in that state when she's in the kitchen. Yeah. So independent of number of people we had at home, independent of how many personalized dishes she had to make for each one of us in the family. She always had that sense of purpose, and also she never felt exhausted. Might be she felt, but she never showed it to us. Yeah, so that's where I'm heavily attached to that. How can somebody be which is really so physically challenging, but who is able to do it all with a smile? But then growing up, and now when I'm in this stage, that when I'm expected to do, I really see that it's basically she always was in the flow, that she was able to connect and she enjoyed, and that satisfaction end of the day as a family, she got that feedback. Yeah, so saying, oh, we like this, this was so good, this was better than the last time. So that's basically getting into that flow and doing what is expected. Yeah, so flow is one concept which I will take you through more in detail. And another concept is called grit. I'm sure most of you would have heard. I've been a big fan of Angela Duckworth, wherein she has done a beautiful book, written a beautiful book about it. I highly recommend. The more about grit is perseverance and passion. So that's also what you will hear from me in the next couple of minutes. So to start with, the examples of most of the profession where we are in, either it could be a doctor, it could be a sports person, or it could be a cook, or it could be an engineer. So often we are born with certain talent, right? So not everybody can be the world's best chef, not everybody can be the best coding person in the world, right? So how do we basically become a better version? Is it all starts with interest that we develop over a period of time. Yeah, so let me take the example of a kid. So when a child is born, we often are aware that the child cannot start walking or start speaking from the day one, right? So it starts to learn by looking at the people surrounding us. So we often say nanny has a very high influence on the child, parents have an influence, grandparents, the support system that we have in our family has a very high influence. So if you have observed within the first 1 year of the child, so it never feels tired by trying and trying and trying. When it falls down, it gets up, learns to walk, everything happens in its own pace because nobody is judging. From the time it starts understanding more and starts speaking, once it becomes 1 year old or even more, that's when parents have, or the support system has, a huge influence. We start saying, oh, don't do this, don't do that. But so what we are not being aware is we are trying to cut down the flow of the child's growth. So basically what I want to convey is flow is a state where you pick up even without you being aware, but definitely flow will help you to become a better person. And many places we can see that there is an improved version every time. Let's pick up few examples. A sports person, I know many of you who have joined on the call, like swimming or running, and shuttle badminton, right? So often the way we look at how we are getting better and better, the highly recommended research results say that for sports, more than 10,000 hours of practice is needed. So only then we get into that zone. So all I want to say is, if you are trying to do something which you like, you need lot of practice, and only then you can become more engrossed in that activity. And we, like we all know, for us to stay motivated, we want to see ourselves getting better and better and better. So if you have to get into flow, practice is needed, and you have to be in that mental state. Yeah, so Flow is one part of it, and then comes the grit. So while we all understand the example of weather and climate, right? So weather is both of these are something that talks about temperature and the place where we live in. So there is a difference. So one is covering a long term one, and one is talking about a day to day one. So like this, similarly, flow is basically, it's more towards your performance for everyday activity, whereas grit is something that you drive out of your passion and perseverance. So now I touched upon flow, and now I'm introducing you to grit. Why is there a correlation between these two? Is the suspense that I'm going to reveal in the next few minutes. But as such, the concepts is what I want you all to get familiarized with, if you haven't heard about it before. And through lens of Angela Duckworth is what I'm trying to mention here as well too. Now talking about grit, let's take an example of a few of us who've been in the corporate or in our own profession. It could be a teacher, or it could be somebody who's pursuing the medical profession. So the current trend that we have seen is one person who has got a passion for something intrinsically might be doing something else. Yeah. So personally, my case, I would give an example that uh, though I'm into deep into engineering, so if given a chance, teaching would have been my chosen profession. So for that, I'll give you an example how this even came to me very early. Yeah. So often when we grew up, if all of you remember, there were two things that we used to play with. One is that kitchen set that we had at home, wherein we got most of the things from the kitchen, got scolded by our parents, and then but still messed up the whole place at home. But still, we enjoyed having that nice kitchen set playing. Other than that, at least the second plaything that I vividly remember is teacher. Right, so having a blackboard at home with that powdery chalk pieces around all on your face and hands and everywhere. Now that we have digital chalks and all that, luckily we grew up with little bit of chalk powder around. So I vividly remember having this teacher thing right in my mind. So, and the best part is the place where I grew up. There was something called discussion class. So, in discussion class, what happened is it was a forum of students, by students, and for students. So, while I was in 10th grade, I had an opportunity to teach the ninth grade students. So it continued till 10th, 11th, and 12th. Yeah. So we are a huge community today, around 8,000 members of this discussion class community, wherein the students got very early chance to make an influence to fellow students. Yeah. So for me, early, right from high school, I got a chance to learn on one end. I was still in my school, and then teaching the previous year students, meaning you have to be thorough with your concept. So it started quite early on, how to make a subject interesting, how to make the concepts clear to other people so that they can understand, so with that influence, I always get inclined wherever there is a place so that I can go talk about a concept, or it could be any topic like what I'm doing today. So this was my initial grounds, or the foundation that I grew up with. Yeah. And that has stayed with me. But I know we are societal ecosystem, or the pressure with which we have been grown up saying either become a doctor or an engineer. There's a story there as well. I always wanted to become a doctor, but I couldn't draw nice figures, so I ended up being an engineer. So But still with this story, engineering today, though I've finished my engineering and then did my masters, and am I not doing what I am supposed to do in my profession? Believe me, I like what I'm doing. I really like today what my job offers me, but I often keep telling my team or to others, everybody whom I know, so might be down the lane when I have to retire, you will see me in a college. So what I want to bring out here is the passion that you have can stay with you, and there is a need for you to nurture it. And eventually, if you want to continue with that in the long term, you need to basically be passionate and continue working on towards that. So that's one more example what I have written down here about people being in one profession trying to switch into another one, basically to improve your skill, and that would help you in your career growth, is something that is the concept around grit. Yeah. So another one example that I would like to give is the chef that we often see. I think post covid, most of us have become chefs by accident or by who were forced to do that. But I know a lot of my friends who started baking and started making dishes which were never a part of our desi menu, but they started preparing wonderfully, in fact, nice cakes for their kids' birthdays. So basically what I want to say is, if you have something which is calling you other than your job and career, see if it makes you, get up out of your bed every day, and if you want to pursue it, see if you want to pick it up passionately, and identify when is that point when you want to make that passion something into flow. Yeah. So somebody who is passionate about singing, though these days we have a lot of nice reality shows. Yeah. So not everyone is able to make into the reality show, right? So but see if you want to continue to practice singing, so that whenever there is an opportunity you go into that, and later some point of time you can become a professional one. So see if you can balance between flow and grit and get that into action. So now what I want to highlight is having these both, being aware of these terms. Yeah. So what is the role that you grit plays with us, and how will it eventually help you be in the flow, is something that all of us today, under whatever circumstances we should be aware of it. So what is about grit is basically, it's a continuous effort, and you need to be open, saying, for me to reach at a particular goal which I am passionate about, you need to be open for continuous learning and development as well. So the best example is, most of us, because I know this is session for women, so often it happens that when we are going through this life advancement, so one point of time when we are in a stage of having kids, so that's where is the crucial point of, do I stop my career now, or can I still latch on? Yeah. So that's one crucial stage wherein I wanted to also highlight maternity leave, or when we are trying to bring up our kids. So be aware that's also the time wherein your resilience should be the peak. Yeah. So being in there and finding an excuse that I am not able to spend time for myself and not able to come back is the last reason that we should be giving ourselves. So, what I want to recommend is, have that effort continued in whatever way possible. Yeah, so even when you are taking care of your family, still there are ways through which you learn. It could be as simple as watching news, or it could be connect via social media, or calling up a friend and asking what's happening around the world. So the request is, don't get divided or don't get away from what you're passionate about. Keep learning. It needs to be continuous. Yeah, so there would be challenges, but there is something that we have to be passionately holding it on tight. Yeah, so with that context in mind, so I would like to now that I've brought in the terms of flow and grit, so what is it that we are talking about? Is it both needed at the same time? No. Flow is something which will make you immersed, which will make you be live in the day to day activity without taking any effort. But grit is all about long term. Yeah. And experience that you go through, example, sport, walking, cycling, whatever you do effortlessly. So the experience with flow, what you do is quite enjoyable. Yeah. And grit is basically you need more effort, more resilience. And when it comes to focus, the flow is like living in the moment. And for grit, it's all future oriented. Yeah. And how is it that even interrelated, and what is the research that is saying, and what is it that it has highly influenced me also, is basically the passion and the perseverance is all about around the word grit. And how do we basically try to do 10,000 hours of practice for everything? Is it all that is needed? It's debatable and questionable, but there should be deliberate practice that is really needed, and you should be open for feedback and learning with correction that you need. Yeah, so to basically give a framework on how do we balance between what we are talking about, for each one of us there is something that interests us. It could be as simple as collecting stamps, or it could be singing, or it could be anything. So even to continue on that, you need practice. And once we start practicing, I've often people come to me and ask, okay, we are practicing now. It could be even in our day to day work with whatever we are doing. Afterwards, what is it? So you need to know what is that purpose. In in that book, she beautifully explains that after you have got into that self discipline and self orientation, you need to connect your practice and interest to the world centered purpose. End of the day, because we are living in a society, everything that we do can be connected to a purpose. And with that purpose in mind, can I change the world to become corruption free, pollution free from tomorrow? Let's all hope that we can bring in that change with whatever interest that we have brought in for ourselves. So, end of the day, hope is what keeps us alive, right? So, with whatever capacity. So, you don't have to tell yourself that I'm not the president of the country, so that's why I give up on purpose. No, it's like minimum one person, your family, immediate family, the beautiful communities we are part of. So wherever, whichever scope we are able to influence and live your purpose, that's the best thing that we can all be contributing to the world around us. So all it needs is pick up your interest, practice what you want to do, find a purpose, be hopeful that you will make the difference. Yeah, and for all this, it's like hitting the gym, right? So we are in November end, so every year beginning we say I lose 10 kgs, or independent of losing, I'll go to gym 35 days a month. So 35 days itself is a wrong goal that we are setting for ourselves, right? So being hopeful with a wrong goal is something not correct. So what I'm saying is, don't make false promises for yourself. pick up the right interest that would drive you crazy, and that would keep you up, and for all this consistency and getting into that flow of what we enjoy while we are doing shopping, or when we are singing, or when we are doing what we like to do. That's the state where you have to be to achieve your long-term goals. So that would be my real recommendation when it comes to flow and grit. Yeah. So for somebody who is at the professional front. I know this initiative is for women at work, and even at my organization, I'm really part of such women communities wherein we encourage them to have those self-oriented strategies, and how do we harness. I think we basically have to challenge yourself. So that's where in the book it's highly recommended that even to enter into that what we are talking about now, to get into that career goal, is have a challenged goal, stretched goal, try to reach that, constantly take feedback if you're becoming better, see how creative you can be to solve the problems and become or the reach the goal that you want to do it. So that would be my recommendation. Wherever, whichever capacity you are, don't find an excuse to not pursue your long term goal. Clearly, we are all born with talent. It's our responsibility to nurture and have a goal that will help us to drive our purpose and become better version. Yeah. So with that, I would say consistency is really important. Small steps towards reaching that is important, and then embrace the change. Keep inspiring others, get inspired, and I'm sure with all this concepts around, with all this self awareness that we are trying to build today, we would become something better than what we are today. So some of out of lot of things that Angela Duckworth has mentioned. So I think this is one thing that I really liked. So nobody wants to show you the hours and hours of becoming. They would rather show the highlight of what they have become. So this is what we all saw when women cricket team won the World Cup this year. Any sport that we see, we've seen that nobody shows that I am practicing for 23 hours per day. We get to see the results when they are on the ground, right? So even when we are working on day to day basis, we don't say how many hours we have put in as practice to become what we are today, but what the world sees is the result of what we have practiced at the back end. So I really liked this when she said that, and I highly recommend this book. And there is a lot of takeaways in this. And personally, last few months and an years, this concept has kept me going. So this is the last slide, and this would be my request to everyone who is here to get inspired, keep inspiring, get into that state of flow, and you can become a grittier version of yourself. So that would be my last statement.
Yeah, thank you, Shanti. That was great indeed. I would like to see if the participants are unable to talk or raise their hands, or they can drop their comments in the box so that Shanti can talk to you on that.
Somebody raised a hand. I'm not sure if they can speak. Sujani, you're on mute.
Yeah, so please drop your questions if you have in the comments. so that we can answer to you. Yeah. Do we have quite QA? What inspired you to create this wonderful module, Vijaya?
Yeah, so I think uh, the concept as such, when I got introduced to this book, so it really is talking about what you go through on a day-to-day basis. It's not like 25,000 feet wala high key. I don't relate to a concept wherein I'm not working. So it really brought out, and I was able to identify what I am going through. Yeah. So could it be shopping or playing a video game or reading a book? So when somebody writes what you're going through, so that was so relatable for me. And professionally as well, like I was telling you this example of what I really like to do and what I'm doing currently. Yeah, so I had this dual state of mind. So is it the right time that I'll have to get into the teaching profession? So of course my EMI calls me and keeps me doing my engineering job, but still, I get the opportunity to do. I teach my son. I like really doing that. He never sits with me, so that's a different thing. But still, identifying and an affirmation that you can have both, and you need to be consistent to have that on top of your mind. And the concept whole resonated, is what was driving me, and I picked it up. And yeah, I wanted to share in this round.
Thanks, Manisha, for the question. And I know you're happy with the example given by Vijaya, and thanks for that. And we do have no don't know the name, but we have one more question here. How do we balance taking care of infant and work, especially when we are new to work, where we have to be really present and put extra efforts to do it well?
Yeah. So, I would say, there are two things. Yeah. So, balance, if we are lucky enough to have the support system and financial ease, take support. Yeah. So don't get into that guilt mode of I didn't see my kid for 2.5 years and the kid will forget me. No, you've given birth. Yeah. So the kid will not forget you. Right. So that's that first thing that we have to be aware of, that you're not basically penalizing your mother kid relationship. So be open for any kind of support. Yeah. The second thing, if we are not lucky enough to have a right support system, do I have to prioritize my family? Yes, you have to prioritize. Yeah. That's where all these concepts come into picture. While I am doing my priority as a mother taking care of my kid, still today we are all lucky enough to have so much of sources and resources around us, that sitting at home wherever you are, you can be connected to your work. I could be a database engineer, or I could be an automotive engineer, or I could be a teacher. See if you can, throughout the 24 hours, is there something, some part of the time which you can do that will keep you calling, right? So priority for your family, then it's a self orientation and self discipline. Clearly, nobody lives our life, we get to live our life, right? So self discipline, not hampering your family, keep it parallelly written down. Or they often call you the partners in crime. It could be your spouse or it could be your family who nudges you, are you doing this? Yeah. So that state, that activity beyond taking care of your kid, which energizes you, it could be as simple as reading a book or recording an audio or a song if that's what likes you, or cooking a dish which will help you learn something. So identify what triggers you to reach that state of where all your hormones are released in the right quantity, right? So, and then keep doing it while you prioritize, yeah, so your family. So I'm want to stress this point that it's within our control. The balance can be figured out by us. Don't get into that zone of complaint. Complaint doesn't give you any solution. It will only put you into a negative zone, a deep abyss where the recovery is not possible. So be aware where you're getting into, and I'm sure you will figure out a way to balance that part. Yeah,
That's great.
hope I answered.
Yeah. And we do have one more question from Chinmay.
Yeah,
How do you practice grit and flow and work?
yeah.
So, I mean,
So yeah, go ahead, please.
yeah, I think most of the questions are connected each other, and uh, half of the answer would be done. So,
Yeah.
I think you can answer for Chinmay.
Yeah, exactly. So, flow in work is basically being in the state of effortless. Yeah. So, um, again, what is calling you is important. Is it EMI, or is it like what you're doing, you're passionate about, will eventually bring that state of what you enjoy when you're drinking something that you like or when you're shopping, right? So flow is that state where you enjoy effortlessly. Okay, so if you're not able to do that, come out of it. Might be the calling is somewhere else. Yeah, so I would say flow in work. Pick up something, even if you say I don't have a chance, that because of X reasons I can't come out of work today. I can easily confirm, the way today we are at, you can pick up something that will make you enter into that flow state. Yeah, so choose that right one which can make you enter into that. Whereas grit is something like I explained, it's long term. It's more towards your career oriented. So wherein more passion and perseverance and resilience, consistency, stability is all that is needed for grit. So it's interrelated. Flow is temporary. Today, grit is basically long term, and it's more towards your career and goal. So that's where you will have to balance between these two.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you, Shanti. Hope Chinmay, you got your answer. Uh, uh, we do have one more question, I think. Yeah.
Yeah.
Tips to manage time better.
Yeah. So that's a nice one, putting me on spot, because I said when you're in flow, you lose control of time. Yeah. So is it like when you're in flow, you end up working 13, 14 hours a day, right? Because you enjoy what you're doing. So is it good? Definitely not a state you have to be thoroughly, yeah, but end of the day, for all of us here, we need to balance it out. So I would say here again, prioritize. See what is important. You could be having 10 things on your plate. So in your 10 things to do, if shopping is it can wait, right? Scrolling through your Insta to check the reel and contributing to that one view of which can help somebody else reach their 1 million views and get money, you can forget that, right? So if there is something that helps you to be happy, helps you to be contented, get onto it, prioritize. If your kid needs your time, if your spouse wants to spend some time with you, spare the time. Yeah, so if your team needs you, spare the time. So my recommendation, or what research says, is clearly prioritize. Give time only that matters to you. Other things can wait. World will not end if you're not there for that. Your family will end if you're not there for them. Yeah, so that would be my 1 cent.
That's great. Shanti. Yeah, me being in similar, from the engineering background, from electronics and communication, but being working in the way I like contribute to skilling and development was my dream come true, and I'm very happy to contribute myself in working in skilling and development sectors. And I know, I mean, most of the women knows how to prioritize their work, but that needs to be streamlined, like the speakers like you. And I hope today's session was wonderful. What I could say is grit, not just a talent. It's like we must embrace the power of perseverance, as you said, to learn and we have to integrate that flow into our daily routines to unlock that true creativity and resilience within us. And yeah, let's focus on those hours of becoming. And uh, hope everyone enjoyed your session, and thank you all for your incredible engagement on this today's Women at Work episode 7. And we look forward to seeing you ahead with few more episodes and few more speakers like Shanti. And seeing you the highlights of your success. Stay inspired, stay resilient, and thank you all for joining us. And Shanti, if you want to have your words to this audience, please take it up.
Yeah, so thanks, Virginia. I mean, I could easily see that you resonated to those words and nicely put up, and with your example is wonderful to close the call today. I think fall 7, rise 8 is one of the famous saying Japanese proverb that we have all heard. So you might fall down, but you need to get up.
Definitely,
Don't
yes,
count
yes.
how many number of times you're falling down. So all of us have been there. So keep doing, keep loving what you do, and be successful. Wishing you all the best. Thank you.
Thank you, audience. See you in the next session. Thanks for joining us today. Goodbye. Have a great day ahead.
Thank you. Bye.